Summer will be here before you know it, and that means summer vacations. So I started thinking about places within the Midwest that are worth checking out and which ones don't live up to the hype. So in today's video, let's take a look at 7 tourist attractions within the region that I think should be skipped. Number 7, Cloud Gate. Let's start with my home state of Illinois. Outside of the state, everyone knows about Chicago, and that's about it. The city brings in a lot of tourism dollars, so they get placed on a pedestal in the eyes of some politicians in the land of Lincoln, but some of the places drawing in the tourists aren't worth the effort. Case in point, Cloud Gate, aka the Bean. For one thing, if you've seen a picture of it, there really is no need to see it in person. I've seen it, and it wasn't awe-inspiring by any means. It looked exactly like the metallic bean shape that I've seen in countless photographs. Actually, the Millennium Park area in general should be avoided. The traffic is horrendous, and finding a place to park is a nightmare unless you're cool with paying $32 per hour for the pleasure of being able to walk around the area. Instead, why not head to Springfield, where you can find both Route 66 and Abraham Lincoln sites to visit. If you feel you must absolutely go to Chicago, go to the Japanese Gardens or Art Museum instead. Number 6, Corn Palace. First off, this one loses points for lack of alliteration. Instead of Corn Palace, they could have gone with either Corn Castle or Corn Tassel Castle, but nope, Palace it is. When the original Corn Palace was constructed in 1892, I'm sure it was probably quite the attraction, given that life was a lot simpler back then. They needed a venue for festivities, so why not build one out of corn? They had plenty of it. But by today's standards, this tourist attraction is kinda lame, yet they somehow get 500,000 visitors each year. They used 12 different colors of corn to decorate the place, but once you've seen colorful corn, there's not much else to do there. According to their upcoming schedule of events, it's mostly high school basketball games that are booked. Of course, this isn't Mitchell, South Dakota's only weird castle. They also have Valtorati Shiloh's Tabernacle, which is supposed to be, and I quote, a Bible land walkthrough. Maybe skip the town of Mitchell altogether and visit one of the other South Dakota attractions, like the gravesites of Wild Bill and Calamity Jane, Mount Rushmore, or the Badlands. Number 5, the largest ball of twine. There are several locations within the Midwest that can claim to have the largest ball of twine in the world. Why is beyond me. I don't know why this would be something to cause a competition, but there's one in Darwin, Minnesota, one in Lake Nebagamon, Wisconsin, and one in Branson, Missouri, but the largest ball of twine, based on circumference size, is in Cocker City, Kansas. Every August, they hold a twine-a-thon where they add more twine to it. Apparently, a man named Frank started rolling the twine into a ball, but he died in 1974, so the townspeople decided to keep his vision alive. That's some really exciting stuff right there. There is one super weird thing about all of the balls of twine, and that is that being named some variation of Frank seems to be a requirement. The Minnesota guy was Francis Johnson, the Kansas guy was Frank Stober, and the Wisconsin guy is James Frank Kotera. If you happen to go to Kansas and you like weird things, skip the ball of twine and maybe hit up the Oz Museum instead. Number 4, Mall of America. Do you like consumerism? What about crowds of people and screaming children? If so, then do I have the place for you, Minnesota's Mall of America, where you too can live the American dream of spending all of your money on stuff made in China. Seriously though, what exactly is the draw for this place? Shopping online is more convenient than wading through a sea of people, and if you want to hit up an amusement park, there are many scattered throughout the US that are better than the one you'll find inside the mall. If you're looking for a kid-friendly place to go in Minnesota, maybe check out Como Park Zoo and Conservatory instead. They let you feed the giraffes. Number 3, North Dakota's largest animals. North Dakota loves large animal statues, it seems. They have enough of them. There's the world's largest buffalo in Jamestown, Salem Sioux, the world's largest Holstein in New Salem, Sandy, the world's largest sandhill crane in Steele, North Dakota, and Wally the walleye in Garrison, just to name a few. There are more, a lot more. Instead, why not visit one of the museums or parks located in North Dakota, like Theodore Roosevelt National Park, National Buffalo Museum, or Knife River Indian Village's National Historic Site. Number 2, A Christmas Story House. This one might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't like the movie A Christmas Story. I just don't get the appeal of it. It's slow-paced, there isn't much of a plot, and I have an issue with the casting. It's supposed to take place in the late 1930s, a time when people got married and had children early in life, so why are Ralphie's parents so old? The actor playing his dad was 61, and the actress playing his mother was 44 when the movie came out. That makes no sense for the era in which it's supposed to take place. Ralphie's parents should have been in their 30s. But even if I don't like the movie, I get it. There are diehard fans for all sorts of movies, and those fans want to be able to immerse themselves in the experience. Hence the house from the movie being turned into a museum with memorabilia and props from the film. For $15, you can tour the house and grounds, and a huge fan might consider that a bargain, but for most people, it's a wasted expense. If you're going to be in Cleveland, why not just go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame instead? Number 1. The Arch. When you think of St. Louis, you might picture the Arch. It's an iconic landmark, but here's the thing, you don't really need to get up close to it. It's so big that you can see it from quite a distance, and once you've seen it, there's not much else to do. They do offer tram rides to the top and a riverfront cruise, but they're not cheap, and St. Louis has so many better options. If you want a unique experience, check out City Museum, which is less a museum than it is an indoor play area that both kids and adults can enjoy. It's the building with a giant praying mantis and Ferris wheel on top of it. If you like history, St. Louis has a ton of museums that are free to the public, including an art museum and the Missouri History Museum. They also have a really nice free zoo that you can wander around. My point being, St. Louis has a lot to offer tourists, but the Arch is one that you can skip without being disappointed. Fellow Midwesterners, what other tourist attractions do you think are overrated? Let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll add them to a video in the future. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and share it on social media. That really does help the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I remain stuck in the cornfield.